Hello everyone, it's Melanie here with Vintage Hill Studio. Thank you for joining me today. I have a fun repurposed book page project using a new stamp set that I found from Amazon. I'll have all the dimensions and supplies listed in the details below this video. So here's that clear stamp set from Globeland. It says on the package that the stamps are 4.3 to 6.3 inches, but that is for the whole package. Each of these little ladies are about 3 inches tall, so they're very tiny. That was a little misleading on Amazon, but I am going to work with this on this repurposed book page. So you can see the book page does have a little old-timey telephone there, and I'm going to stamp this in Versafine brown ink. I thought that would be nice. It turns out that I should have stamped it in black, but there is a lot of detail to these little stamps. This is the first time I'm using them. I really love the detail in the stamps, actually. So I will get a little darker impression here, and then I will be ready to move forward. So when I'm working with very detailed, fine stamps like this, I like to actually use my watercolor pencils with a very sharp tip. For me, especially on old book pages, because the cotton or whatever the pages are made out of are a little more absorbent. So I like to use the dry watercolor pencils instead of like markers, because the markers sometimes will bleed on these old book pages. So you can see I'm going to just start coloring in here with very limited colors this week, but I wanted to give this kind of, the retro vibe. So limiting the colors, not trying to detract from that old telephone over there. I'm going to speed this up a little bit and just continue coloring. You can see how that sharp point on the pencils comes in very, very handy. One of the things, like if you want to go back after you've colored a little bit and deepen some colors, just work through laying down your base color and then go back, and when you add, you're going to actually get some, shadows and more detail by just adding a little more depth of color. So you can see here, she's actually got some different areas of her dress that I want to deepen and darken up. So I'll go back and forth between these pleats and stuff and just add a little more detail. Just laying in the color, and as you do that, it naturally will darken up. This was a lot of fun to color, but like I said, these stamps were so small that I was really surprised when I got them. I guess, it's hard to tell on the Amazon ads. And of course, if you went by that size, like on the packaging, it is nothing is 4.3 inches or 6.3 inches. Like I said, each one of these ladies is roughly about 3 inches tall. So if that gives you some perspective. I'll be putting this on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card this week. And so it's going to work out just fine. I did find out that as I was working along here, I needed to fill in some of the space on my little book page mat here. Now look at the details here on the stamp with her lips and a little pearl choker, and then she has some kind of lace around the bodice of her dress in the bottom, but I wasn't able to capture that on this with the print behind her. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of my black pencil, and now is when I decided it would have been good to stamp her in black. I didn't know if I wanted to keep it subtle or do the black ink, but looking back, I should have just gone ahead and stamped with the black ink. But that's okay, I can fix that with my pencil. And there we go, she's looking pretty good. Now you can see all that extra area on the book page. I'm going to bring over this hello friend because I thought the hello quotes goes pretty good with the phone. And I think it'll go pretty well up there, so off camera I stamped that on a little piece of this cream colored cardstock, and I'm just going to ink around the edges to age it up. This makes it fit in with that book page just a little bit better. Then I'm going to bring over these flowers from Ellentina, and I'm going to see how these would look. These are some dies, and off camera I will go and cut these out and give myself several flowers. But the first thing I'm going to do is bring over some distress inks and color in a old book page. Just giving myself some background colors so that I can die cut these flowers and get those put on the front of my card. So I'm going to make several of these because I wasn't sure how many I needed to use to fill up that page. So while you're at it, you might as well just make several and then do your die cutting. So I'm just using a couple of colors. Again, I'll have all of those listed down in the description below this video. Just seeing how much I need to do for each one of these sizes of flowers, and a little bit for the center, just going a little darker. But also trying to make sure these colors will mesh well with that kind of aqua color in her dress. Now you can see how cute these come out after I've die cut them. And because they're out of a book page as well, it's going to kind of blend in with the overall theme of this repurposed book page for my card. That's how those will go together. I've got several of them cut and glued. And then I'm going to bring over little Mod Podge. Now what I've learned when I've used paper flowers on other cards, if I like to leave a 3D effect, meaning I'm not gluing every petal down, sometimes they get bent up. So I'm trying to reinforce some of the stability by adding some Mod Podge on top and bottom, but I'm not gluing it down to the other petals. Okay, now I'm just going to get all of this put together using a little bit of that aqua matte behind my book page, and then I'll put that on a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card base. And this is getting to the fun part of completing this card for this week. I'm so glad you dropped by to visit me. I hope you get inspired to look at some old book pages and see what you can do with them. It's so much fun to repurpose them, keep them out of the landfill, and give them towards somebody you really care about, since you're putting so much effort into creating your cards. Now if you have any excess like this, just snip it off and you will be ready to put this into an envelope. Hey, if you like this video, please feel free to become a subscriber. I'd love to see you again next week. I like sharing inspiration, and I love hearing from you. So if you have any comments or thumbs up, send them my way. I'd love to hear from you. Enjoy your day and happy crafting, everyone.